I grew up with the guys. This is how we lived our lives, and we hung out with each other, and we enjoyed each other's company because we could do guy things. And we grew up. We didn't grow up like the American culture does, quick, fast sex. We don't. In our culture, we don't have sex. You don't bring your girlfriend home and have sex in your parents' house. Like if I want to go bang my girlfriend, I had to sneak out. I lived in a basement. I had to like sneak out in the little window, if you could imagine, just the size of my body, and I had to like run. Like that was my upbringing. It's not, Mom, I'm going to my girlfriend's house. It's like, what? What are you talking about? Go back down in your room, okay? There's no such thing. So there wasn't that. This is an Americana lifestyle, or it's not even America. It's like Canada. I don't know, white people, I guess. It's not like that. So we didn't grow up with that mindset, and we really also enjoyed each other's company because we can do guy things. We played sports, lots of sports, all the time sports. And then when we were of age to go out, then this is where we go and run after girls. Some were successful, some were very unsuccessful. Some became good. I did, thank God. Then you discover alcohol. You don't get drunk in our culture at home with your parents. Like that's not. I remember one time I had a friend. He was a Russian Jew, a 6'3" kind of guy, like you could imagine a Russian Jew, handsome fellow, and we were like in his little golf, and we were going to his house to, I don't know, change before we go out and act stupid, right? It's maybe 10:30, 11. So we're going out at 1 a.m. by the time we get downtown, and we arrive at the same time as his parents. It's not his parents, his mom and his stepdad arrive, and the first thing he says is like, "Don't mind them, they'll be drunk." First, they're drinking and driving. Totally normal for them. In my world, is there such thing as that? Second, it's like his parents are drunk and this is normal. And I look at, my friend was there, the Armenian dude, I'm like, and they're like drunk, not fucking piss drunk, but drunk enough, right? The mom is tipsy and for me that's weird. I'm like, your parents are drunk? What? I never saw my parents. That's not possible. It's not part of our culture. Right? So we grew up in that bubble. The second generation, that means the brothers and sisters of my friends, it's a little different because they're like, we were the pilot, right? So I'm always hanging out with guys. And by the end of that relationship, with the disappointments and the realization that I have to go on my own, I said, you know what I want now? I want to hang out with girls. Not hang out with them, bang them, or pretend to bang them, or try to pick up a girl drunk. No, that's not. I want to get to know female. So the first thing I did when I moved to university in computer engineering to the other city, I'm gonna get a roommate that's a girl. My mindset was already on that. First, because I don't have a sister, and I want to live with a girl. My interest was, I had, of course, interests. I'm going to be surrounded by girls. I like girls, and it's going to make my life easier. But that's what I told myself. But at a deeper level, it's like, no, I want to get to actually know women in a different way. And obviously, it happened like I imagined. She was there. She was in science of education. She's studying to be a teacher. And she's got all her little friends who are starting to be teachers. Short ones, medium ones, tall ones, pretty ones, weird ones, fat ones, all kind of like, it's a world, right? And I'm right there. So at some point, once she decided that I was her possession in her mind and said that I'm off limit to the other girls, so they just start. I never got hooked up with that girl. I didn't like her legs. I didn't like the shape. It bothered me. So the girls start to just pretend I'm not there. And they just would act like girls. And I would just hang out with them. Like totally my style, just like a fly on the wall. I'd just hang out in the corner. And they're like, you want something? No, just leave me alone. I'm just listening to how you think, how you talk, the way they're interacting with one another. Then I started to observe, because I didn't hook up with that girl, so I started to observe what she's doing. But I was totally oblivious to it, trying to get me jealous, then sleeping with that guy, and then her sleeping with him, the effect that it has in her psyche, because I saw her before, and then now she's like weird. But wait, just before I moved into her apartment, she just broke up with a boyfriend. So part of the reason she accepted the guy from the big city who looks like he's not from here, she accepted because she wanted to bother the boyfriend. all this stuff I kind of had a sense of, but I didn't experience. So now I'm like in it, and then I'm seeing all the girls and their issues and their gossips, and I'm like, but none of that would exist if you wouldn't have had slept with him. You must be stupid. But I didn't. It's not stupid like in a critical way. It's like, I don't want to say it's like she's like a little rabbit, like you want to like pet the rabbit. It's like this is like a little rabbit, but she's creating so much drama for herself. I'm like, so I had friends in engineering school. So one of these girls hooked up with that guy on the first evening. This was like a novel. I'm like, okay, you drank a little bit, but now she's in love with him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? But she hooked up with him, and I'm just seeing. I'm like, what kind of creature is that? And of course, Middle Eastern women are Middle Eastern women, but the sluttish aspect is not there. Women are women, but when you add sluttishness to it, it highlights the distortions. You know what I mean? And I was watching this and like having conversations with these girls, would like come and hang out with me and like talk. Well, why is it like this? And I'm like, and then I hang out with that girl, Annie, her name was. And she'd hang out with me, like girls like to hang out with me, and like we'd have conversations like 5 a.m, talking about like me being me, right? I'm asking her questions and like being me, like re-educating her, right? And she loved it. She adored it. Because nobody like her. I don't want to disrespect white people, but generally white fathers are passive and not assertive, and they don't. I just want you to be happy. I'm like, she's a slut now, and you're saying nothing. She's a stripper now, and you're not saying anything. That doesn't exist. What the right? So if you bring a little bit of authority, not necessarily authority, because I had no attachment to her, but just a little bit like of masculinity and just like this is dumb and this and like you just speak candidly from a man's perspective. Like she just ate it up. She loved it. She was receptive to it also, and she knew me and she trusted me enough to want to listen to me and not feel offended. This is like pre the madness of today. Pre-Me Too shit. So the world was so much more relaxed and everybody was all the more down to earth. So I realized, oh man, some girls love this. Like she's eating it up. And of course now I didn't hook up with her. I decided to move. I lived in dorms, and then she hooked up with some Moroccan dude, and Moroccan guys are fucking like terrorists. Fuck. So I like saw her with this Moroccan dude a couple of weeks later, and she's like walking like she can barely look at me because he's gonna get upset, right? And I laughed at her. I'm like, you try to replace me? You can't replace me, especially not with a Moroccan dude. Get the fuck out of here. I didn't say that out loud, but that's what I thought to myself. Can't help myself but think these things. There's a thing between the... anyways. So, and then she's like walking straight. I'm like, she's traumatized, this girl now, because that dude's like whipping her, like setting her, like, this is like, extreme shit, right? She's like French Canadian girl in university walking like this now, like with a Moroccan dude there, and he's like, like, who's gonna like I'm gonna kick your ass and kill you, right? Anyways, long story short, I made that move because I was interested in the female psyche, and I wanted to, now that I was separating myself from my old life and the relationship with the guys, there was no future in it. And I started to walk on my path. I said, this is where I need to go. I want to discover myself, and of course I want to understand females. I want to understand women, not just as a whole that I want to fuck and use. No, but what is a woman? Why am I so attracted to women? Why is relationship with women complicated? Why is it so painful? Why is everyone suffering within the relationships, or dare I say, most people? I want to understand how she thinks differently from me. What is it that makes her behave the way she does that we as men can criticize? You say she's a slut, yeah, but why? Fine, she's a slut, fine. But why? What is it that is making her behave this way? What's motivating her? I didn't understand those things. Not just, that's why I had an interest in psychology, but I realized psychology is very shallow. I need something deeper. I need to understand like the makeup of a human being. And then that took me down a rabbit hole that we'll discuss later. And we've already started to discuss, but I wanted to really understand what makes a woman, like what, and how are we different? And clearly, men are men. Doesn't matter what kind of man you are and at what kind of letter you want to associate to, right? Men have something in common, and women have something in common, and the difference is like night and day. Literally, it's like night and day. And although the women may try to emulate masculine thought patterns, because this is what she's been being educated to do, it's not natural for her. Underneath there's her nature, and she may be repressing her nature, suppressing it, squeezing it. It's always there. It's always there. And my interest wasn't in, because I thought, I'm going to be honest with you, and people can call me whatever they want. I'm like, but I find women dumb. Like, whatever. Dumb from the way I think as a man. I'm like, I don't care what your opinion is. Like, if I read the book, I'll understand it better than you. And maybe you're good at school and you're good at assessing data and just absorbing it, compiling it, and regurgitating it. But for the most part, I enjoy hanging out with guys. If I'm going to have a conversation about whatever, I'm going to have a conversation with men. I'm not interested in having a conversation with a girl. I don't care what you think, quite frankly, right? Unless it concerns me. You see what I mean? So I'm like, now, of course, this is the worst thing I could ever say because I'm like, no, women don't think like men. And so I was like, but there must be something to women besides just a hole that I want to fucking come in. Essentially, the woman is like your substitute masturbator. There's got to be more to it than that. I can feel it. I'm not conscious of it, but I don't understand. Now I could read. Now the books exist where you can read and pretend that yes, women are this, and fuck you. You're full of shit. Okay, cut the crap. I was honest enough with myself to say I don't really know what that creature is. I have a mom at home, and she seems to run shit. But every time she opens her mouth, it's like, stop talking. Like, I don't care what you have to say. What do you know? Right? Anyways, this may be disrespectful, but people will know. Some people will understand what I'm trying to say. I'm like, yeah, but there she still has a power. What is that power? Where does it come from? How does it work? What is it? How is it that she's able to influence my father the way she does? And my father's a fucking geek, right? So, like this guy, my father's a super engineer, and this is my mom, she has a diploma in social science. What social science? Political science. Like, there's always been this, come on, you're like political science student. Shut up, right? It's just in the atmosphere, even if it's not necessarily spoken. And they're kind people, and they're respectful, right? But it's like, come on, it's there. Just nobody says so, especially here in the Western world. But it's in the atmosphere that it's like, go over there, hang out with your girls and talk about girl stuff. Or if we want something pleasant, the women talk, right? It's kind of like entertainment. Anyways, that may offend some people, but it's not the point. This is how I felt. I felt that the facade that women are trying to present with their bullshit intellectualism, and of course there's some few exceptions, but for the most part, this facade, and now they go to school, and now they're smart. I'm like, you just regurgitate what you read. So there's got to be more to women than a woman trying to be a man. And a hole that you just want to come in. And that dawned on me way before, and then I had the opportunity, and I said, that's how I want to go. That's where I want to go. Sure, my friends had sisters, but it's your friend's sister is always that weirdness, and you keep a certain distance, and as she grows and she becoming hot, you want to bang her. It's weird. So that's not how our crew was. So I made that move, and that's where my mind started to shift. So I need to understand. I want to master sexuality. I didn't know that yet, but internally that's what I was looking for. And I want to understand women because I want to understand myself. I want to understand why the relationship with women, which means the relationship with myself, is such a source of pain. And nobody around me seems to be concerned with this. People go through the shredder of relationships, come out like totally fucking destroyed, and they go right back on the carousel like it never happened. And I'm like, you're insane. Like, how do you look at what you went through? I'm like, I got a new girlfriend. I'm like, are you stupid? Like you don't even understand what happened to you, and you're starting again, and you're acting like it's never happened. Like, I couldn't do that. I'm not that dude, right? So I went into a carousel. Sorry, I went to a grinder. I got so grinded, there was nothing left of me. I'm like, I'm not going back into that. I need to figure things out for myself, and that was my opportunity. That's the beginning. And I really enjoyed it. I was like that also when I was a little kid. I used to hang out, well, my mom, I'm talking about like a little kid. We were in Egypt, I remember, and she would sit next to me in my bed, or the bed next to me, and with my grandmother, and they'd do their women talk, and I really enjoyed listening to them. But that was like when I was a kid, pre-hormone shit, you know? Because they have a language of their own. It's not very intellectually interesting, but there's a feeling to it, and they're saying something, and they're doing something. But it's not robot man shit. It's something else. And I always enjoyed it, at least as a kid, and then I discovered it a little later on when I grew older. I'm like, you're doing something. You're like churning something. It seems pointless. It really does from a man's point of view. But no, but they're doing something. And it's not just random. It seems random. There's a sense of chaos compared to the logic of a man, or just logic. No, but no, they're doing something. Now I know what they're doing. I'm like, oh, you're brewing a spell. You're doing something. It's not just blah, 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 nonsensical talk. No, you're like, they're doing something. Now, I didn't know as a kid, but I enjoyed the atmosphere of it. It was nurturing in a way. And as I grew older, I wanted to rediscover this and learn to really understand, what is a female? What does a woman actually bring to the table if it's not a wannabe man? And it's not, you don't use her as a Kleenex to masturbate on. Like, what is a woman if she's not an object? And I, like most men, objectified women because, well, what do I know about women? What I see on TV, what Americana sells me, porn, and women in my surrounding who are trying to be technically like men. There's no space where a woman is learning about womanhood, really, or there's actual role models of women, mature women, not an old woman, I'm talking about mature women who actually understand womanhood. It's rare. So we grew up with that mindset. Most men think this way still to this day. It's like, well, you'd like to believe you're going to find the woman of your dreams, but you can't help yourself. You look down on her as an inferior creature. She's dumber than you. Men won't say that today because you can't. It's illegal. It's politically incorrect. But they think this way. That's why we have mansplaining. You're there to explain shit to her because she's dumb. Right? And then you're a little horny shit that has no self-control and you just want to ejaculate. Is this not fair to say that this is most men? Even if they're grown-ups and even if they're like polished and behaved and like mature with a suit and they're professionals? Like, come on. Come on. And you need mommy. I forgot that one. That means you have like a love or hate relationship with mommy. You need her and you hate her and you want to show her that you're the man, but she doesn't really take you seriously. So this is your average individual, your average man. And I saw myself in that position and I'm like, I gotta be missing something. Because there's no way that this creature can be so quote unquote inferior and have all that control over me. And clearly she's not controlling me by telling me what to do or not to do with her mouth and intimidating me with her muscles. No. She's got a way, she's controlling me and I don't understand how. And whoever can do that is wicked powerful. I want to get to know that. I want to know this, I want to experience it, I want to get it so that I can protect myself, number one, and then I can learn how to play the game better.